Hello everyone, sorry for the delay getting started. Having a problem with the technology, but let's get going, shall we? Welcome, my name's Jean de Cruz. Welcome to this live stream of this introduction to meditation series from the Tibetan Buddhist Society. This class is the first of a 3-week series. In these sessions, we'll focus on meditation and learning Buddhist mindsets to boost our relaxation. So I'm going to share perspectives for daily life and guide you through some meditations that you can do at home. So the format for these classes is first, I'll do a talk to give you an overall explanation and some tools for developing greater relaxation. We'll do some guided meditation and then have time for questions at the end using the chat. So I started studying Buddhism and meditation when I was 19 years old. I'm a student of the spiritual head and founder of the Tibetan Buddhist Society, Geshe Acharya Thubten Loden. I also worked for him for 25 years as his secretary, and he then asked me to teach classes and to lead retreats, and I've been doing that for about 20 years. So what is relaxation from a Buddhist perspective? So from a Buddhist perspective, the best relaxation comes from meditating. The result of meditation is called calm abiding, meaning abiding in the present with stability and calmness. It's a flexible mind in that it can focus on anything that you choose with ease without getting distracted. So this is the most relaxed experience. Now, I have to say that achieving this calm abiding is a lifetime's work, but it helps us to understand the direction that we're heading in. So what we want is some more abiding and some more calm in our life. And when you practice meditation, you get a little experience of calm and of abiding. I'm just going to have a break and have a look at these texts. I hope everyone's on okay. Looks like it looks okay. All right. All right, so with meditation, we're trying not to have any expectations of achieving a perfect meditation. What we're doing is trying to give ourselves the space to pay attention. So in that space, you will find yourself getting distracted. That's normal. The essence of it is you're choosing to direct your attention, and every little effort that you do improves it. So in these classes, I'm going to teach and guide you in meditation. And what I'd like you to take away from this is some tools, and also to try and cultivate a different way of being in the world, a way of being that's more aware and more relaxed. But before I talk about meditation, we need to consider what stops us being relaxed and what we can do about it. And this is important, because meditation is the best thing to do if you feel stressed, as it can shift you. But if you have attitudes and habitual responses that make you unrelaxed, then it's hard to achieve a change by just meditation. It makes it more difficult to ease into your meditation because your mind is processing what is stressing you. So to be practical, we need to start with asking, what are the major issues that stop us from being relaxed? Now, it's impossible for us to live a life that's immune from problems and difficulties. But our responses to problems and difficulties in life is what shapes whether we can relax or not. Some of the biggest obstacles that we face to being relaxed in particular are stress and anxiety. Stress causes issues for us in terms of the suffering that we experience when we're stressed. Because when we're continuously stressed, it harms us physically. We get headaches, we can't sleep properly, we get high blood pressure and so on. Also mentally, we feel tense, we feel agitated. It can harm our relationships with other people. It limits us because we don't think clearly when we're stressed. And also, we tend to avoid situations that we think are going to stress us. But this could mean we're missing out on opportunities. But the stress response has its function. When there's a degree of danger to us, we have a burst of adrenaline, our heart starts pumping, sends blood to the muscles. This is the fight or flight response, which shifts all our energy towards survival. And this is essential in times of immediate danger and in emergency survival situations. But persistent stress is a problem for us because it's not intended to be a permanent state. This is where the damage to us comes. Also, we can have a physiological stress response that's just related to our thoughts about the situation. So we don't even actually need to be in danger. We can just think about it and we have a physiological stress response. So this is not useful, especially if it's persistent. Then this becomes anxiety. So to truly relax, we need to deal with this. But some people think they need to be stressed, especially at work. They think it gives them the edge. But in fact, it's the opposite. Stress has a significant negative impact on our ability to function. We can't think clearly. We can't see all the different elements of a situation. Also, it's important to realize that the opposite of stress is not being laid back. What it is, in fact, it's being stable in the face of upheavals in our life and in our work. So let's look at some of the mechanics of how stress arises. So there are two different approaches that we can have to difficulties that we face in our life. The first way is we can have more of an ease, more of a natural response to the difficulties in our life. The second way is we have an internal critical dialogue that's driven by our negative minds. This internal critical dialogue is stress making. This is where we think about what might happen, or we think about how things should be, how I should feel, what I should like. And often these are other people's views. We think about how I am. We often think I'm not good enough. And this is stress making, thinking we're not good enough. So this internal critical dialogue is supported by agitation. Agitation is a busy mind. It doesn't rest. It jumps from thought to thought. So one of the results of meditation is to reduce our agitation. So the more concentration and stability of mind that you can create, the less you have of the internal critic. And it's this internal critic, this internal critical dialogue that is the stress maker. So it's an internal commentary that it's quite negative. It can be pessimistic. It saps up confidence by commentary like, I can't do it, it's too difficult, I'm prone to failure, this situation is going to work out badly, these sorts of thinkings. Also, it induces stress and tension and limits our ability to respond effectively to a situation. So we need to recognize that there is this internal critical dialogue happening, which is stress making. We need to have a greater awareness of what you're feeling or saying to yourself. And then by being aware of it, to then be able to release it, to let go of it. Or we can resist it by not accepting the negative aspects of that commentary. So our awareness of all this is increased with meditation, because meditation is an act of awareness. So to meditate, you're not emptying your mind, you're just practicing paying attention, whatever it is that you're meditating on. So the act of paying attention is increasing your awareness. You'll find that as you do more meditation, you will have more and more awareness. So on this point of the internal critical commentary, you need to be aware of what it is that you are thinking. Then the other way that we create stress for ourselves is by being pessimistic. We tend to look at or imagine the most negative outcomes. in any situation, there are outcomes that are on a spectrum from really bad to really good. So most outcomes will fall somewhere on that spectrum, and a lot of them are somewhere in the middle. Even if they are bad outcomes, they still fall within a spectrum of bad to just slightly bad. And even sometimes things can look bad, but they can turn out good. For example, you might lose a job, but then you get a better one. So we don't envisage that there is a range of outcomes. We get stressed about all the bad things that we imagine could happen. The problem with that is we keep imagining the difficult or the bad. And this is what stops us from being relaxed. But this is not actually realistic. Yes, there are bad outcomes, but there are also slightly bad or even okay or good outcomes. But we don't say to ourselves, I don't know how this will turn out. Yes, it could be bad, it could be okay, or it could be good. We just go to what's bad. But there's actually a whole spectrum. So when we're having persistent worry, we need to look at what is happening. You need to say to yourself, there is actually a range of outcomes. I can't control it for some things, but I need to have a more open mind and not assume that it's just going to be terrible. So what we're trying to do here is to be more accepting, because it's not realistic to always look at the bad outcomes. We need to accept there's a whole range and not just focus on the bad outcomes. So I'm talking about persistent worry here. Sometimes, yes, things happen, where we are sad or things are really difficult. At those times, the more we can accept them, the better we will feel. To say to ourselves, this is happening, I will accept the reality of it, and I will do my best, whatever that is. Because really, our mind is going to determine how much suffering we have. But that's another big topic which I cover in more detail in other courses. But to come back to stress and anxiety, we also create stress for ourselves by spending a lot of time thinking about the past or imagining the future. And when we're doing this, we can have a lot of charged emotions about the past and about the future. We have a habit of being out of the present and being in these imagined situations as far as the future is concerned, or recalled situations as far as the past is concerned. And all of these are filtered through our emotional relationship with the past and the future. So what does this actually mean? It means that if we are pessimistic about the future, then we filter our imagining of the future through a negative or a pessimistic filter. And this is what creates stress for us. Then, if we have negative or painful thoughts about the past, we do the same thing. If you recollect the past and your filter is to have a lot of regret or negativity, this is stressful. In Buddhist meditation teaching, this is actually an obstacle to meditation. So what we need to do is to practice being more present. That means being in the present moment, actually being aware of the present moment, and also learning to accept the present moment. So in meditation, what you are doing is you're paying attention. Another way of saying it is you're mindful. But you also pay attention to your experiences when you're not meditating. There's a famous quote attributed to Zen Buddhism. It says, before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. Because our lives are filled with simple moments. How you relate to them is important. By paying attention, by being aware, you are being more enlightened. Now, obviously, we do need to make plans for the future. But a healthy way of doing this is to plan and to think about it and then to let it go, to actually do what is needed to be done in your plan. The letting go is to return to the present and to actually act on your plan. The other way, which is the stressful way, is to just ruminate on it. So we're thinking over and over about it, not actually acting. And this is what makes anxiety. Then, in relation to the past, we need to find ways to reconcile it. We often blame ourselves for mistakes or problems that have happened. But we need to be more friendly to ourselves and accept we can't be perfect. But yes, if there are past traumas, then if you can, accepting them can be helpful. But sometimes, we just need professional help. There are also some more advanced meditations than what I will teach here that are also regarded as helpful for healing from trauma. But in relation to the internal critic, what do we do about it? So the first step is to be aware of what your commentary is to yourself. What are you actually saying to yourself or implying by the way that you're feeling? Then once you have that awareness, then that gives you some choice. Because once you're aware of it, you have a choice as to whether you follow it or not. When you're aware of it, then you can start choosing not to follow it. Not to follow the thoughts that undermine your self-confidence. Not to follow the thoughts that are self-critical. Not to follow the thoughts that imagine the worst outcomes. Not to follow the thoughts about other people's criticisms of you. Now, in some cases, it can be difficult to resist this internal critical commentary. So in that case, sometimes you're going to need analysis. So meaning you're actually going to realize for yourself that it's not logical. So, for example, with anxiety, you're imagining the worst outcomes. But you need to say to yourself and realize that the worst outcomes, the worst things don't happen all the time. There are different outcomes. Our life is not a succession of the absolute worst things happening. It's easy to always imagine the worst things, but it's not all the worst things that happen. So then, this is what we need to do to go through this logic with ourselves. So, but then when difficulties do happen, knowing that we've got more acceptance of them, knowing that we're not picturing ourselves in a way that we're so fragile that we can't cope with difficulties and that we can accept the situation, then we can relate to that situation by accepting it. So even when there are difficulties, we don't need to worry about them as much as we do, because we have learned to accept them and to just deal with them. So the alternative to this internal critical commentary then is to have a more complete and natural self that can just respond to situations, respond to life, respond to difficulties that we face. So this is what we're aiming for, is a more integrated, more complete self that can act with our head and with our heart in a more natural and more easy way. And how we can strengthen and recognize this more complete and natural self is by meditation. Also, we can have more control over the way that we respond to difficulties by meditating. So once we're aware of it, meditation helps us to not follow the internal critical commentary or the negative narrative. Meditation helps give us the ability to see what is happening, but not to follow it, and to let it go. So this is what we can achieve through meditation. And there are also many physiological and psychological benefits from meditation, which have been proven by many studies which have been done on the effects of meditation. So physiologically, meditation has been shown to lower blood pressure, increase our feel-good hormones, boost our immune system. Psychologically, meditation, particularly mindfulness meditations, have been shown to increase the set point of happiness, so people feel more energized, less anxious, more purposeful. And these changes have been found to happen even with new meditators. These studies are often ordinary people, not just yogis who've been meditating for decades. And many of the studies take place over just weeks and months, and these results happen, in these just weeks or months. But obviously, the longer you meditate, the more profound the results. And these changes can happen because of neuroplasticity. So science has found that our brain is not fixed as we used to believe. It's actually quite flexible. It is possible to change. And meditation can cause the brain to change so that our set point of happiness can actually increase. So what is meditation then? Meditation is defined as thoroughly and deeply acquainting the mind with positive states of mind. Now, because positive states of mind are by nature happy and a source of future happiness, every time you meditate, you are in fact bringing more and more happiness into your life. And what we're trying to achieve here is that it's a way of being rather than just doing. So it's more than just a technique. Yes, meditation helps you relax when you meditate, but meditation is deeper than that because it also affects your whole way of being. So what happens when we meditate is a meditative way of being starts to be integrated into our life. It starts to be part of the way that we experience our life, and it becomes part of the way that we approach our life. So it becomes a way of being that we take into life. So what we're trying to do here with meditation is we're choosing to be a bit meditative in general in our life. We're trying not to get too caught up in the surface of things, not get too caught up with reactivity to things. So this is what we're trying to do when we're cultivating a meditation practice. Okay, so we'll do a meditation now. And the meditation that we're going to do today is called a body scan meditation, or also called a sweeping the body meditation. So in this meditation, you begin by observing systematically the different parts of your body without commentary and without judgment. So we look at a part of the body, we just look at it. No commentary, no judgment. Then we go on to the next part of the body. So what we are doing with this body scan meditation, what it does is it trains you not to get too caught up in your thoughts, particularly in your negative thoughts. It is training you just to observe them and then just to let them go. It trains you because just because you have a thought, you don't have to follow it. You don't have to believe it. It's just a thought. So doing this body scan meditation helps you to do that, to just observe and to release negative thoughts. Okay, so let's do the meditation now. So to begin, sit cross-legged, and you can sit on a cushion, or whether it's cross-legged or some other way, comfortably as you can on a cushion. If that's too difficult, sit in a chair. The main thing is to have an upright, straight spine. Your head should be slightly bent forward, but not too much. Place your right hand over your left with your thumbs just touching and then resting in your lap. Your eyes should be half closed and gazing down unfocused. But if you find this too difficult, you can close your eyes or have them just very slightly open. Your mouth is closed and your jaw is relaxed. So we begin the meditation by setting a positive intention. So we can do this by reflecting. In each moment, through the power of mind, we have the opportunity to make the most of our life and to experience more happiness and peace. So you can think, through this practice of meditation, may I achieve happiness, enjoyment, good conditions, and a calm, peaceful mind. I wish the same for all other beings. May all others also experience happiness, enjoyment, good conditions, and a calm, peaceful mind. So the intention of this body scan meditation practice is to bring your awareness to any and all sensations that you're able to be aware of, or even a lack of sensation, as you focus your attention systematically on each part of your body in turn. So make a determination not to think of other things for the moment. Make a determination not to think of any of your issues that you have, any of your problems. Determine not to think about your work, not to think about memories of the past, your plans for the future. Just for the moment, let them all go. Set a strong intention. Make a determination to let all this go. You need to be a bit firm about it, otherwise it won't happen. Then bring your awareness to the sensations on the top of your head. Bring a gentle, interested, affectionate attention to be with and to investigate the quality of the sensations that you find there on the top of your head. Then bring your awareness down to your forehead. Just investigate the quality of their sensations there. Then to your eyes. Then bring your attention to your nose. Then to your cheeks. Bring your attention to your ears. Then to your mouth and jaw. Lingering for a time at each part. You may feel a sense of tingling or warmth. Whatever's there, maybe no sensations at all. It's all okay. Don't label anything. Just be aware of the area. Then allow your attention to extend down your throat, shoulders, upper back, and chest. Then move to your upper arms, elbows, lower arms, your wrists, your hands, fingers and thumbs. Perhaps noticing the contact of your hands, contact of your thumbs, contact of your hands resting in your lap. Your mind will wander away from your body from time to time. This is entirely normal. It's what minds do. When you notice it, gently acknowledge it. Notice where your mind has gone off to. And then gently return your attention to the part of the body that you're focusing on. Then allow your awareness to extend to the sensations in your abdomen. Become aware of the changing pattern of sensations in your abdomen as you breathe in and out, as your belly rises and falls. Then bring the focus of your attention to the pelvic area, the groin, the genitals, the buttocks, the hips and lower back. Continue to scan the rest of your body. Remember to linger for a time at each part of the body in turn, without labeling, without judging. So go down the left leg, the thigh, the knee, the shin, down your leg to the foot and the toes. Focusing on each toe in turn. Noticing the contact between the toes or the contact with the ground. Bring awareness to the sole of the foot, the instep, the heel. Then bring your awareness down the right leg, the thigh, the knee, the shin, down to the foot, then to the toes, focusing on each toe. Then to the instep, the heel, the sole of the foot. Then bring your attention back up your legs, up to the pelvic area, the abdomen, the lower back, the upper back, shoulders, arms, chest, throat, neck, face, and then the whole head. Remember to linger for a time at each part of the body in turn. Don't label anything, just be aware of the area and move on to the next area. When your mind wanders away from your body, notice it, gently acknowledge it. Notice where your mind has gone off to. And gently return your attention back to the part of the body that you're focusing on. Then scan your body again from the top of your head down to your toes. But this time, when you become aware of any tension or any intense sensation in a particular part of your body, breathe into those sensations. Use your in-breath to gently bring an awareness right into that sensation. And as best you can, have a sense of what is happening in that area. Then release the tension with your out-breath. As each breath lets go, release the tension with this out-breath. Again, starting from the top of your head and working your way down step by step to the feet and toes. Remember, breathe into any sensation or tension. See what's happening there. And release the tension with your out-breath. Feel that area now softens. Remember when your mind wanders off, gently notice it, acknowledge it, see where it's gone off to, and gently return your attention back to the part of the body that you're focusing on. Then, having scanned your body in this way, spend a few moments having a sense of of your body as a whole. Be aware of the total feeling that you're experiencing. Be aware of your breath flowing freely in and out of your body. Have some awareness how you're feeling. Is there some relaxation? Some other sensation? Then if you notice any feeling of relaxation, of being more settled, or feeling clearer, then when you open your eyes, retain that feeling. Okay, so just to summarize what we've looked at today, we need to have a level of relaxation, some peace of mind, some settledness, and we need this for our well-being. But an obstacle to this is being stressed, relating to difficulties in a stressed way. So one of the contributors to having a stressed reaction is having an internal critical dialogue. So we looked at how we overcome this is to be aware of it and not follow it, and if necessary, go through the logics of why it is not a correct way of thinking. We also looked at another way of that causes stress and anxiety for us is when we have a negative or pessimistic view on things. So learning to realize that outcomes are not always bad. There is a range of outcomes that could range from good to bad, and often it's somewhere in between. So realizing this, and then through meditation, that allows us to help us to overcome this negative or critical narrative. Also, that overcoming the negative critical narrative helps us to improve in our meditation, in our awareness. So from today, it would be good if you could start a meditation practice if you don't already have a meditation practice. If possible, do 15 minutes a day, at least 10, or if possible, 15 to 20 minutes a day. So I suggest you try and do it at the same time each day if you can. Morning is a good time to do meditation because your mind doesn't have the input of the day. It's easier, it's less busy, it's easier to settle. Also, when you do meditation in the morning, through the day, you can recollect the peace and calm that you generated in your meditation. You can recollect that in your day and bring it into your day. But if you can't do the morning, then any time of the day is fine. A good way to help to make a habit of meditation is to connect your meditation practice with another habit that you already have. So, for example, if you're doing it in the morning, you can connect it with your activities in the morning, like after your shower, then meditate, or after you brush your teeth, then meditate. So you already have a habit established. You connect your meditation habit to that. That helps make it a habit as well. And it's easier to get to our meditation if it's already a habit. You don't have to convince yourself to do the meditation. It just becomes a habit. So if you can do that through the day, if you can set a regular meditation time, that's ideal. But if you can't, if you do miss, if your life is such that you can't have a regular time for your meditation, then make a determination to do a meditation at any time during the day, anywhere, in your day. So just because you missed your meditation time doesn't mean you don't do any meditation that day. Make a decision, I'll do it anytime, even if it's just 10 minutes. So that helps. It helps also to do your practice, if you can, somewhere quiet, somewhere relaxing, somewhere peaceful. But again, if that's not possible, anywhere will be fine, as long as you get to do your 10, 15, 20 minutes of meditation in the day. If possible, do the meditation that we've done in the class. So your meditation for this week is to do the body scan meditation. So do that for the week. So have a go at establishing a meditation practice and do this body scan meditation. If you'd like to read a bit more about meditation and some of the other concepts in Buddhism, have a look at The Essence of the Path to Enlightenment book by Geshe, Acharya, Thubten, Loden. There's a little section that explains meditation in the beginning of the book. So have a look at that. So now, if you have any questions, you can ask them on the chat. Okay, so Sebastian says, I find my feet got fidgety during the meditation. Okay, so just observe that um, and just see, observe that it's happening. And then in the section where you're releasing the tension, then try and settle it down at that stage of the meditation. Thanks, Anna. So Jenna says, I find even though I try to stay present, I get sleepy as I can finally relax. What helps with more focus? Thank you. So, Jenna, you will find if you're starting a meditation practice, it shows up our lack of sleep. Many of us, I find many people are being sleep deprived. And this shows up when you're starting a meditation practice. It shows you how tired you are when you stop and try to relax. So try to make sure you are getting enough sleep. During the session, so that's kind of the way, really. When you start a meditation practice, you will find that you need to adjust some things in your life. First of all, make sure you get enough sleep so that when you do sit to meditate, you can be alert. One thing that can help, get focused is to kind of increase the level of your concentration a little bit. So just give it a bit more energy, to squeeze a little bit more of your concentration. That helps you to kind of keep your mind on the object a bit more. Not too much. If you squeeze too much, you'll get agitated and distracted. So just squeeze your attention a little bit more, and that can help overcome your sleepiness. So try and do that. As your first step to overcome sleep. But as I said, make sure you are getting enough sleep in the first place. Okay, thanks, Nicola. And Chris, deeper than usual. That's great, Chris. I'm glad you could get a bit deeper. The interesting thing with this this body scan meditation is because we're focusing on the body. I find that it's kind of easier to come back to it because it's something a bit more tangible that you're working with. You're working with the different parts of your body. So it can help you to keep your meditation on the object. It can help you to go a bit deeper because it's a bit more, it's a bit more tangible. So you're probably experiencing that as well. Jenna, yes, you have a lot of anxiety. Exams coming up, even more anxious and not sleeping. So, yes, that's what happens. It kind of gets into a cycle, doesn't it? The anxiety keeps us awake, and it goes on and on. So, but try to be conscious of the anxious thoughts as as I described in the talk today. Be conscious of it. Consciously try to let go of them. Consciously try to refute them through logic, and let them go like that. And just keep making an attempt with this body scan meditation. And the more you do it, as I said, the more you get an ability to overcome those anxious, sort of worrying thoughts. Yeah. Okay. If there are no more comments and questions, we'll stop there. So have a go at your meditation practice with the body scan meditation this week, and let me know how you go when we come back again next week. Thanks for your attention. I'll see you again next week.